Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you wanted to speak up or share your ideas, but you just couldn't find the right words? It's frustrating, right? Well, you're not alone. And the good news is, there are some simple phrases that can totally change the game. Confidence in English. It's kind of like tying this bow tie. At first, it feels a little awkward. Your fingers fumble and you're sure everyone can see you struggling. But once you know a few simple steps, you can pull it off smoothly, naturally, and with confidence. Just like this. And here's the secret. You don't need perfect grammar or fancy vocabulary. What you need is a few simple go-to phrases that you can use to help you sound more calm and clear and in control. I'll give you a simple one right now. And that is, "That's a great question. Let me think for a moment." It instantly buys you time and makes you sound thoughtful and less nervous. And that's the idea, right? So, tonight, we are unlocking the game-changing phrases that can shift your confidence instantly. And by the end of the episode, you'll have a toolbox of expressions that you can use in meetings, interviews, and everyday conversations. Oh, and stick around, because in the Mastery Minute, I will share a word that gets to the very heart of confidence. And if you want to show me some support, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend who you know wants to speak with more confidence. Let me tell you, we'll dive right into it. Let me tell you about Lisa. Lisa is a software engineer. No, not her real name. She's from Taiwan, and she is a brilliant coder. Very, very sharp. But in meetings and conversations, she would often freeze. Her mind went blank. And instead of contributing, she just stayed silent. People just thought she didn't have anything to say. And later she told me, "Hey, Dennis, I don't know what to do. I had the ideas in my head. I just didn't have the words." Does that sound familiar? A lot of English learners feel the same way. You know what you want to say, but you can't find the right phrase in the moment. And that silence can make you feel like you're failing. But it's not about your ability, it's actually your toolkit. You've got to make the time to sound more confident. And once I went over a few solutions and I taught Lisa a handful of confidence-building phrases, she was able to join in the conversation. And she ended up leading conversations as well. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight. So, what are these game-changing phrases? I'm going to break them down right now. I want you to know, confidence isn't magic. It's not. These are simple things. Confidence is language. It's not magic, it's language. And there are certain expressions that can instantly change how people hear you and how you feel yourself and feel about yourself. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover several categories and game-changing phrases together. Because even if you just change one or two, you can change and transform your silence into confidence. So let's jump in with phrases that buy you time. We already talked about one earlier. Let's start with one of the most powerful tools, buying yourself time. Imagine you're sitting in a meeting, someone throws a tough question at you. Uh-oh, your mind goes blank. This is the moment when most people panic, but you don't have to. You can use a go-to phrase like, "That's a great question. Let me think about it for a moment. Or maybe you might say, before I answer, could you clarify what you mean by whatever they said? This works because they do two things at once. That's right, two for the price of one. Number one, they show that you respect the other person who's asking the question and you're wanting to give them a good answer. But they also give your brain a few more seconds to catch up. And that's often all the time you need. This works for native speakers as well. Native speakers who are good communicators will use these tricks to help them get a little bit of extra time to think. So instead of looking unprepared, you look thoughtful and deliberate, right? And that one little small shift in perception is the difference between sounding nervous and sounding confident. Moving along, let's talk about phrases that show strength. This is another category. Showing strength without being rude is a key soft skill to have. Imagine you're asked a tough question. Again, you don't know the answer yet. Well, instead of bluffing or staying silent, you can calmly say, I don't have that answer yet, but I will find out. That's the key part. The second part is important. I will find out. Instead of just saying, I don't know, or making up an answer, this works really well. Or here's another one. Picture a meeting where you disagree with someone's idea. Rather than saying, that's wrong, try this. Try, I see it differently. Here's another angle, or let's look at it from another angle, or something like that. Looking at it from a different perspective. These phrases work well to show that confidence because they combined honesty with respect. You're admitting that you don't know without looking weak, which if you just come out and say, I don't know, it makes you look weak or ignorant, and that's not a good thing to do, especially in the office. And it allows you to disagree with someone without starting a fight. That's a good balance to have. It's exactly what makes you sound confident and professional at the same time. It comes down to that respect level. All right. Next up is phrases that reframe self-doubt. All right. This is another challenge I want to talk about. Self-doubt is something that many learners actually apologize for their English before they even start speaking. Did you know that? When you do that, that apology takes away your power. So instead, let's reframe it with different phrases. So instead of saying, sorry, my English isn't good, say this, I'm still learning, but here's my perspective. Here's the way I see it. Or, I may not have all the answers, but here's what I see. And then explain what you see. These work well because they shift the focus from what you lack, namely your English skill, to what you offer, what value you're bringing. You're showing humility, but also confidence that your ideas are important, that they matter to people. Imagine you're in a meeting and you start with, I'm still learning, but here's my perspective. And then instantly people will pay attention to you, much more so than if you said, I'm sorry, my English isn't good, or I'm sorry, I'm new. Okay? The people will then start to respect and listen to your contribution instead of hearing your insecurity. That small little shift in the framing changes the whole energy of the conversation and keeps the spotlight on your ideas, not on your mistakes. All right? Oftentimes those spotlights, it's all in your head anyway. So Next up, phrases that close with impact. We talked about this a while ago. When you're making any kind of presentation, you want to make your close of whatever your statement is, you want it to have an impact. Imagine that you just shared your ideas in a meeting. Everybody's waiting for you to wrap up. Now, if you stop suddenly, it feels like it's unfinished, like maybe you have a little more to say. But if you close with a clear phrase, then you leave a strong impression and you make sure that everybody knows you're done talking. You've shared your idea. So a couple of simple go-to phrases are summarize yourself clearly with "so," to sum up, and then give your conclusion. Or to highlight the key points, you can say something like "the key takeaway is," or "the key takeaways are," if you have multiple takeaways to take home. That works well. The key takeaway is this. Now, why do these work? Well, because they act like signposts. They tell your listener, hey, here comes the conclusion. Here's what matters the most. So it's like tying this bow tie, right? At the end, you've shaped the conversation. Now you're finishing it neatly. Like a simple line like, "the key takeaway is," that helps you to sound organized, confident, and memorable. Organized is good. I want to close with one more thing before we move on with the rest here, the Mastery Minute. Okay, let's pause for just a quick, powerful idea. The words that you say to yourself matter just as much as the words you say to others. If you walk into a meeting thinking, "I'm going to mess this up," your brain listens. That's negative self-talk. It's not helpful. But because if you tell yourself something positive like, "I've got this," or "I'm prepared and ready," that then becomes your reality. Positive self-talk is like giving yourself a pep talk before going on stage. It won't make you perfect. That's not the point. But it will make you stronger, calmer, and more open to the conversation ahead. So this week, practice not just the phrases that you say out loud, but also the ones you whisper to yourself. That inner voice can be your biggest cheerleader, or it can drag you down faster than anything else. Listen to what you say to yourself. That's my positive quote there. And now it's your turn. What is one phrase that makes you feel more confident when you speak English? Drop it in the chat. I'd love to hear what it is. I love hearing confident phrases and things that people take away. All right, and here's your challenge for this week. Pick one of the phrases or two of the phrases that we talked about today. Use it. Use it this week in a meeting with a friend, or even while you're practicing out loud, which I always recommend. Then, after you do that, notice how it changes the way people feel and how people listen to you, and how it makes you feel on the inside. Okay? And one last thing. If you found this episode useful, give us a like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who also needs to feel more confident when they're speaking English. If you want to read more, look in the chat or in the description. You can find a link to the full blog post at my website, allaboutEnglishmastery.com. The link is in the description as well, like I just said. All right. And oh, and if you ever say to yourself, "Hey, I want to improve my English, but I don't have time." Oh, I hear that all the time. The reason I made this course, Mastering English for Busy Professionals, is because of people just like you. In just 10 minutes a day, you will learn real phrases, build real habits, and grow real confidence without cramming, no overwhelm like you might get from tests and classes, just daily wins for you. Check it out using the link in the description. Okay? It's in the description. All right, and now it's time. If you have any questions, now's the time to get them in the chat, and I'll answer them in the chat afterwards. Today's Mastery Minute. We're not going to do an idiom today. Today, the word of the day is poise. Poise. Have you ever heard that? Picture a tightrope walker, high above the ground. But he's calm. He's balanced with every step that he walks across that tightrope. That is an example of poise. It's calm, graceful confidence, even when the pressure is on. That's what it comes up. Calm, graceful confidence, even under pressure. It's a strange word, isn't it? Poise. It comes from the Latin word pensare, to weigh or balance, because that was the way we weighed things back in the days. You had to balance. You've seen the scale. But over time, it actually became a way to describe not just physical balance, but emotional balance too. Someone with poise doesn't panic. They respond thoughtfully. They carry themselves with dignity. Here's an example. Even under tough questions, the speaker showed real poise. And that's the quality that we want when we communicate in English. Not perfection, but balance and calm. So this week, remember the word poise. Confidence isn't loud, it's steady. And with the right phrases, you can walk into any room with poise. Sounds good, right? All right, that's all the time we have for today. Today, we explored game-changing phrases that help you sound confident even when you don't feel ready. We covered how to buy yourself time, reframe self-doubt, and close conversations with impact. Plus, how to change that mindset with your self-talk. Next time on Wednesday, we're going to look at how to transform your vocabulary to sound like a pro, and we'll actually explore practical ways to upgrade your word choices so you sound sharper, more fluent, and more professional in every setting, from casual chats to formal presentations. You'll see how the right vocabulary can change how people hear you. You don't want to miss it. And again, if this episode gave you value, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. I am Dennis Wilborn, and this has been 15 Minute Mastery. See you on Wednesday.